Topic 3. Video game sequels or intellectual properties that aren't to our knowledge in the works, but you wish were under development. So it could be like a game that never existed, for example, and was being prototyped and never come out, or a sequel or whatever, something like that. So,
I've got one.
Okay, go for it.
Bomberman.
Bomberman.
I want a Bomberman game that I can play on the PlayStation and it'd be just as legendary as it was before.
Yeah, Bomberman's a great game. I think there's probably like mobile versions or Wii versions
not the same.
Appeared and stuff. But
not the same.
Yeah, I get what you're saying, but it's very much these days a downloadable title. It's not, going to be a retail.
It wouldn't be a series. Yeah, it wouldn't be like a series or anything.
As, like one of these downloadables though.
Yeah.
Doesn't have to
if they
cost
kept
40 quid, could cost 20 quid.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If they kept it cheap, you could make it cheaper than that, 15 quid or something, and just have it stages and multiplayer.
It'd be fun if it could have online play. Yeah.
That'd be amazing. See, I don't understand why they've not gone it. Like, Bomberman was awesome. It was really annoying because I used to always get picked on, but yeah, it was amazing. It was wicked. It was so much fun, just to piss about. I guess.
Yeah, it's a great game. There has been things recently, but like you're saying, there hasn't been like a major release of it soon. I think they'd struggle with making a massive story out of it and stuff. But there's unique ways they could do that. There are cool, interesting things if they don't take themselves too seriously. I'm not saying go Goat Simulator, but if they make it like cheesy fun and like a weird little campaign that's not too crazy. Because to be fair, the campaign's just sort of like, you'll play that when there's no one about. But what's really important is the multiplayer. Yeah. It's like, even online multiplayer with randoms would be fun. Bomberman, wouldn't it? So,
Yeah, that'd be wicked.
If you had it couch co-op and online multiplayer, that focus on the multiplayer section, I think that would be a cool game to bring back or whatever, breathe life into. I'll tell you something that annoys me a bit. Looking on the PlayStation Store, I know it takes time and development and cost and all that bullshit, but there's just not enough classics on the PlayStation Store, and it's like, I think they're squirreling them all away for PlayStation Now, so you get a subscription there. But I'm not really interested in PlayStation Now, but I would pay for PS2 games.
There's the odd game on there I like, but there's never enough to justify me getting it. And to buy a single game is really expensive in comparison to what the whole thing costs.
To rent a single game, it's like you might play it, but you'd only really get the rental for a month or whatever, specifically for one game. You'd probably be like, I really want to play that game, so I'll rent it for that month. But then it's like you're on the clock. I don't know about I do know about you guys. I've got shit to do sometimes. I can't just fucking I want to play things.
To playing something.
Yeah, it's like, what if 2 weeks pops up and I'm busy those 2 weeks, and then I've got to rush through in the last week or something. So I don't want to be on the clock.
Against it. I think they should make all those titles to buy as well. It's about time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Problem is though, it's different. They can't do it like that.
Something that I can't keep either.
Because they need to be ported if you buy them, because otherwise you're constantly streaming them off the service, and then I don't know how that would pan out financially. Whether at some point it's going to cost, you're going to lose money. Do you know what I'm saying? If someone streams this one game, they buy it for a one-time payment and then stream it for 2 years, you're going to lose money. So
they could also be using that as a testing space, though. Which is most popular? What are people playing? Let's jam that one on PlayStation Network to buy.
Yeah, that's.
I mean, it's an interesting thing. It is the future to a degree, because there's rumors about the NX being part of it being a streaming service, so you stream all the games, and the streaming service not only being available to this NX, but classic Nintendo games being streamable to PlayStation and Xbox and Steam. So I mean, there are rumors galore. We're never going to know what that fucking thing is until January or something. But
it's sort of good, but you're always going to be paying top dollar for that. There's no chance of going down the game store and just picking up a bargain.
Yeah.
I don't like it so much. It forces you. They can control the prices then.
I think the prices will come down to some degree because they don't have to be in shops and retail and stuff. But then things like trade-ins are gone.
So many things on PlayStation Store are way more expensive when the prices have dropped down to 20 quid and they're still at top dollar.
That is true, but I think we for some reason we've got some sort of proportionate price schemes on PlayStation Now, not PlayStation Now, on the PlayStation Store and on Xbox as well. For some reason in the UK, it costs us like £15 more or $20 more compared to what it is in the US. And the reasons for this was like tax reasons I heard, or network infrastructure and stuff like that. First of all, network infrastructure, I pay for PS Plus. I don't need to be paying for no more network infrastructure. I'm paying for more than enough. And for the other thing is the tax reasons. I have Steam. Okay, Steam has to follow by the exact same rules, and I can buy Far Cry 3 18 months after release for £4 because that's what I did. So what's your excuse there? Do you know what I mean? So I don't buy into all that shit. But my thoughts are, when it does go fully digital, when physical copies aren't a thing, the prices will drop and come more into line with what they are in the US. Because I think it's bullshit. I don't think it is a tax reason. I think it's just they're milking us because they can get away with it for now. But there will come a point when they can't. Anyway, we got off a bit off topic there.
Straight off topic.
Yeah. My one is, I've only thought of one off the top of my head, is Onimusha. And I've gone about it a lot all the fucking time because I really want it and nobody's making it. Well, there might be, but you know.
Me too.
I really I crave that game. Like I tried that Neo out in the hopes that it would be like Onimusha. Yeah. It's not. I hoped it would be Onimusha with a little bit of Dark Souls and maybe a bit of whatever else thrown in. It's essentially Dark Souls with an Onimusha skin, and if anything, it's harder than Dark Souls. Like I'm not an expert on Dark Souls to any degree. I've barely played it. But yeah, from what I can tell, it's Dark Souls, and it's probably even harder than Dark Souls. So, and it's complicated. There was no real tutorial. It was sort of like throwing you in at the deep end. There's these souls scattered throughout the world map, and they have like mini tutorial things in it. Like it give you little tips, like such and such. This is your stamina bar, whatever. The problem with that is you usually find that information after you figured out that thing by yourself, because it's usually behind a barrier of whatever that thing is you were supposed to learn. You probably had to learn it before that point to get past that point, to get to the thing. So it's stupid. I mean, those things are only really left around for idiots who didn't get and who looked their way through a certain section. It's like, but yeah. So anyway, the point is, it's not the game I hoped it to be. I'm sure Dark Souls fans will love it, and that's fine. It's for them. That's cool. But yeah, like I gag for a fucking Onimusha. I'd like also, we talked about this again previously, a J Cocoon would be cool. And even, in fact, another one just came to me, Shadow Hearts. We talked about that before.
You're picking all the ones off my list.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll stop talking. If you talk about you go on. You talk about Shadow Hearts or whatever you've got. Go on then.
Shadow Hearts 1 was amazing. It was spooky. I've said it before.
Yeah.
The later ones, not so much. They weren't so good. But if they could get back to their really creepy roots, its lore was a little bit almost along the lines of Silent Hill. It was really sinister.
Yeah.
And I could get into that. I'd like another Shadow Hearts, definitely.
I'd say in a way it's almost they've got like that Neo or Dark Souls almost lore, sort of similar sort of thing. Like there's some creepy sort of undertow, but it's not necessarily important for a lot of the game. But
it's just backstory, but it fleshes out the universe, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's got a similar sort of feel. They're both made in Japan, so maybe it's like a cultural thing. So,
I think a lot of it does base on like their mythology.
I'm just waiting for a developer to realise that there's a niche on consoles and Steam for a turn-based RPG that's of AAA or near AAA quality, of that near that level. There's a niche,
they're still out there, but there's only the like heavily Japanese ones.
Yeah, only really in Japan.
They're too cute.
It's
I'm
like
not looking for that. I
my
want a realistic one.
My hopes are after how Bravely Default is done really well, and perhaps secondly Default to a degree. is that some developer somewhere is going to realize that and make a fucking solid turn-based RPG for, you know, a core console. I mean, 3DS is great, but I don't really game on 3DS, you know.
I do play with the DS still quite a lot, but it doesn't feel the same. You're not getting into it. I'll play it for an hour somewhere.
Yeah.
And that's that. It's not a game I'm getting into.
Yeah, like I'm not sure it's a platform for it.
It's not comfortable in the same way to play it for long periods of time.
There's a niche
although they do still bring them out there,
know.
and it's nice that I can have a taste of that, it's not the same.
Yeah. It's like, please, somebody fucking make a game. If you make a Western but RPG style, but with, you know, with like a Western skin that's translatable to a Western audience that can get into it, you're onto a fucking winner there. And the only one that I can think of that's probably close to that is going to be Persona 5, which is coming up. But that again's very Japanesey, very cutesy. I'm not sure I can buy into all that. It's about there's like, I'm not sure I can relate to some Japanese 15-year-old girl who, I don't know, has got like a fucking teddy bear that's sentient or something. I don't know much about Persona, to be fair, and I know that's a big deal for some people, but it just feels like, oh, I don't know if I could get into that. But I want that turn-based thing, you know. I yearn for that, but and there's a market. There is a market. One day someone will realise there's a market, and they'll make bank, and then everybody will be like, oh yeah, that turn-based RPG thing, yeah, well, maybe we'll make a game for that, you know.
It's something I miss is a game that I can just play chilled out, that I don't have to button bash. I can just sit and be calm and like think things out, not be in a rush. It's a lovely way to play, and everything now is so intense all the time. It doesn't need to be.
It's all action. They're all trying to chase this action money, whereas, like, you know, those old school games, even ones that are a bit creepy and a bit dark, like Shadow Hearts, do you Final Fantasies and whatever? They wash over you. You don't play them as much as, like, I'm not going to say live them, but, you know, you feel them like wash over you. It's like you're on a beach and slowly the fucking waves are coming in. You just let it all fucking, you know, get up all up in there. And, you know, and it's like you're saying, it's like relaxing to a degree, and, you know,
it's almost like watching a movie or something like that.
But it's engagement. You feel like you're in that world. It's kind of like a VR experience, probably, to a degree, but more like a metaphorical VR experience, if you will. You know, you're in that world. So, I mean, I think we repeat our ground on this to quite a lot of degree, but it's probably because they're the games that come to mind. I bet there's a kajillion others. I mean, one that probably will happen coming forward is another BioShock. I'm interested to see what they'll do with that. BioShock Infinite, I'm a bit, I like, it was okay. It was a good game all the way through. The ending for me, even though it was maybe a little bit obvious to some sort of degree, it kind of blew my mind. I got like, I got that awe, that wonder that sometimes games can do. Like, you know, the last half an hour of BioShock was like full of wonder. And that for me was worth playing just for the ending. I mean, it was good all the way through, but the ending, even if it was perhaps a little bit obvious and a bit cliche, for me, I think the ending was the payoff. But I have a feeling they'll go back to more their roots of a BioShock 1, which I've not beaten. It's one of my games I've got to get back to. I've probably got maybe 40% through or something. I've got to get back to it. I keep starting it and then something else pops up, and, you know.
I love the first two. The third one was decent. I didn't like the sky rails. I could have done without them.
Yeah, they became a little
bit.
But
apart from that,
confusing and gimmicky, didn't they? So. But the world of it, the lore and the characters and the art style, all that sort of stuff. The world of it's always amazing. And I think if they go back more to the roots, I think the problem they're going to have is, where do we go from there? We've been under the sea, which was a curveball and was smart. We've been in the sky in like fucking up balloons, like, you know, that dude ties all his balloons in that film. Space is just going to be too obvious, and so many other games have tread that thing. My thought was this. I thought about this. What about a space station? Again, space. So, But what about a space station that's on the edge of a black hole? So it's not in the event horizon getting sucked in, but it's on the edge of a event horizon. So maybe it's like orbiting a black hole. And maybe like things like time, and they could throw in time mechanics because of maybe the whole game's about it slowly starting to fall within the event horizon where nothing can get back, not even light. So maybe that would be a great position, because then you can make things weird, and it doesn't have to just be a space station. Maybe it's a space station orbiting a planet, orbiting a black hole. So you can throw in, so you could maybe go to the planet, you could maybe go to a moon, you could maybe go to an asteroid, a spaceship. So it opens up the world a little bit and can throw in different mechanics. And maybe they're harnessing some sort of dark energy or whatever from the black hole, and then they use that as their what are they called? I always forget, because they use different ones, but they're like their salts and their magic powers. How they can
Adam and Eve.
Yeah, all their fucking magic shit.
Juju.
So they could explain that away with they harness it from the black hole and stuff. So I mean that's
I think they could even pretty awesome, to be honest.
I think they could even look at go more prequel, because the technology in it is weird, and they could start to mention how that came about, how they put the big daddies in the suits. Maybe a research lab before
the thing is,
with
it's
the
like
beginning of it just coming to play.
They can do the Star Trek thing where, because you beat the ending of BioShock, haven't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, BioShock 3. Infinite.
Yeah, spoilers.
There's not going to be major spoilers. I'll just try and keep it kind of vague. But there's basically a massive parallel dimension theme at the end of the BioShock Infinite. So they can do the whole Star Trek thing like they did in the movie, and they can just go to a different dimension where maybe that technology happened earlier. Maybe it happened literally in the American Revolution, or do you get what I'm saying? Or the War of Independence, or that maybe they could, because they sort of had similar sort of themes with that in Infinite, didn't they?
They've always had like a kind of 50s theme, haven't they?
But in a parallel dimension, there's no reason to say why technology isn't more advanced in that parallel dimension than it was in the other two, or in BioShock 1, 2, and Infinite. Because they're different realities. So.
Well, I think that's what's suggested, isn't it? That the under the sea place and the sky place were two different versions of reality.
Yeah, Rapture and Columbia are very similar. We're walking into spoiler territory here, so we should stop going down that road. But yeah.
But there's nothing to say there couldn't then be a third option along with all of that, and so on and so forth.
Yeah. There's potentially infinite. That's how the parallel dimension theory goes. I forget what it's called, but you get the gist anyway. So. But yeah, I think that's cool. Jade Cocoon as well. That's one that I'm pretty sure is never going to happen. But a man can dream. Anyway, I think we covered a lot there. Treading over similar territories we've treaded before, but good stuff still though. They're the things I really hope for. We
all have our favourites.
Yeah, I mean, I'll have to be careful to stop reiterating that sort of stuff going forward. But make me a fucking Onimusha, and then I'll stop.
And I'll stop talking about it.
I'll stop bitching about it. Or a fucking turn-based RPG. One of the two, I'm good. I'm good to go. I'll shut up for like a couple of years, and maybe my voice will break because it went a bit funny then. But anyway. Wow, that's this month's Recon Cast done and dusted. I hope you enjoyed our shenanigans and tomfoolery, and don't forget to join in with our nonsense by posting your ideas for future topics in the comments. And as well as a name check, your topic could feature in an upcoming episode. Anywho, if you enjoyed this video, please like, comment, share, and subscribe for more BS of a similar nature. Thank you, and goodbye.